It had all the makings of a hit, an action-packed premise, a secret crime-fighting organization, and a leading man known for taking down bad guys with his bare hands. A show designed to ride the wave of syndicated action shows dominating the early 90s. But instead of becoming the next Renegade, it vanished after just one season. So what went wrong? Was it doomed from the start, or did something behind the scenes seal its fate? Let's find out. This is the history of Cobra. For nearly 2 decades, Stephen J. Cannell had built a reputation as one of television's most prolific producers. He had already delivered hits like The A-Team and 21 Jump Street, all of which featured resourceful heroes operating on their own terms. By 1993, he was ready to launch his next action series. His goal was to create a show that delivered the same high-stakes excitement as his most famous productions while appealing to audiences looking for a modern action hero. Once the foundation for Cobra was in place, the real work began. Stephen Long Mitchell and Craig W. Van Sickle, 2 writers who had already worked within the world of action television, were brought on board. Their task was clear: shape Cobra into a weekly action series that could hold its own against a crowded field of tough guy crime fighters. Music also played a key role in shaping Cobra's identity. The show's theme was composed by Saga, a Canadian rock band known for their progressive sound. With the production in motion, the next step was assembling a cast that could bring Cobra to life. For the role of Robert Scandal Jackson, Michael Dudikoff was the clear choice. The producers believed Dudikoff had what it took, and he was cast as the show's lead. By the early 1990s, Dudikoff was already a well-known figure in the world of action cinema. He had gained fame through the American Ninja films, where his martial arts skills and stoic demeanor turned him into a cult favorite. Backing up Scandal were 2 key characters, Danielle LaPointe, Allison Hossack, and Dallas Cassell, James Tolkien. Danielle, the daughter of Cobra's founder, was more than a sidekick. She was an equal partner. A Harvard-educated psychologist, she provided an intellectual contrast to Scandal's direct approach. Dallas Cassell, played by Tolkien, was the no-nonsense leader of Cobra. A former FBI agent, he ensured operations ran smoothly while serving as a mentor to Scandal. Beyond the main cast, Cobra featured a rotating lineup of guest stars, including genre veterans like Sam Jones, Richard Lynch, and Bo Svensson. Despite having a strong creative team and a capable cast, Cobra faced a series of behind-the-scenes challenges that would ultimately hinder its chances of long-term success. Originally, Cobra was developed under the title Viper. The name fit the show's tone: sleek, dangerous, and fast. However, Chrysler was developing its own Viper television series, centered around a crime-fighting Dodge Viper, and the company had already trademarked the title. This led to a trademark conflict, and rather than fight a costly legal battle, Cannell agreed to change the name of his show. The name Cobra still carried the same sense of danger and speed, and since the hero's car in the show was a Shelby Cobra, the new title felt natural. The next issue was one that plagued many syndicated shows of the era: budget constraints. Because Cobra wasn't backed by a major network, it had to work with a limited budget, and that impacted nearly every aspect of production. Unlike big budget shows of the time, which could afford elaborate stunt sequences, Cobra had to get creative with its action scenes. The show relied on practical stunts, tightly choreographed fights, and strategic camera work to make the action feel bigger than it actually was. Explosions and large-scale set pieces were used sparingly, and to save money, even recycled footage was used from time to time. Filming in Vancouver, British Columbia helped cut costs, but it also presented challenges for continuity. The production team did their best to disguise the location, but sharp-eyed viewers could still spot the differences. Another unexpected hurdle was the show's music. Saga was enlisted to compose the theme and additional tracks for the series. They created an original song, "Someone Is Out There," which was intended to be the show's opening theme. However, when the time came to finalize the intro, the producers opted to use only the instrumental version, leaving the full song unreleased. Worse yet, several other tracks the band had composed for Cobra were never used at all. This meant that an entire collection of original music went unheard, at least until Saga later compiled these tracks into their 1994 album Steel Umbrellas. But the biggest challenge Cobra faced wasn't legal trouble, budget limitations, or music disputes. It was getting viewers to notice the show at all.
The road to adventure just got tougher. Michael Dudikoff.
When Cobra finally hit the airwaves in September 1993, it entered a crowded field of syndicated action shows. The early 90s was an era filled with crime-fighting loners, vigilante heroes, and high-speed car chases. Series like Renegade, Walker Texas Ranger, and Highlander the Series were already attracting loyal audiences, leaving Cobra to fight for recognition. And right from the start, it struggled to stand out. When it came to critical reception, Cobra didn't fare much better. Most mainstream critics dismissed it as formulaic and forgettable. Critics mocked its premise, calling it another entry in the muscular loner fights crime category and criticizing its reliance on predictable storytelling and thin character development. One reviewer even joked that Cobra was basically just another excuse for a guy with great hair to punch bad guys. However, while professional critics wrote Cobra off, fans of the genre were more forgiving. Among action TV enthusiasts, the show was appreciated for what it was, a straightforward no-frills crime fighter series with a likable lead, a cool car, and weekly action-driven plots. Some viewers who had enjoyed American Ninja and other Cannell Films action movies tuned in simply because of Michael Dudikoff, eager to see him in a starring television role. Others enjoyed the chemistry between the three leads, particularly the interactions between Dudikoff and James Tolkien, whose gruff, no-nonsense character added a layer of humor to the show. But appreciation from a niche fanbase wasn't enough. By the time Cobra reached the halfway point of its first season, the writing was already on the wall. The show had struggled to attract a consistent audience, and in the world of syndicated television, that was a death sentence. By the end of the season, it was clear Cobra wasn't gaining momentum. The lack of a stable audience, the overwhelming competition, and the struggles of syndicated scheduling all contributed to its downfall. Without the numbers to justify a renewal, the decision was made. Cobra would not return for a second season. After Cobra disappeared from TV in 1994, it seemed destined for obscurity. Unlike other action shows of its time, it never got major reruns or syndication, making it largely inaccessible for over a decade. The show's first official home media release came on February 13th, 2007, when Visual Entertainment released Cobra, the complete series on DVD in Canada. 2 years later, Mill Creek Entertainment released a US version. Though neither release made a major impact, they provided fans with a way to revisit the series. Despite the streaming boom, Cobra has yet to secure a place on major digital platforms. However, fan-uploaded episodes on YouTube have helped maintain interest. While it didn't revolutionize the action genre, Cobra delivered fast-paced, entertaining action in the style of its era. Had it received better marketing or a stronger time slot, it might have lasted longer. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content.